Hey everybody, this is the Combo Wombo podcast with Chip Monk, and with me, as always, is Mr. Gimpy.
What's going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody?
Hey man, what's going on with you, bro?
Oh man, just as I was saying, I grabbed the wrong coffee, so I took a sip, and it was like drinking death. So I hate hazelnut.
Was it really that bad,
It's
or was it just the surprise more?
It was
than
mostly the
taste?
surprise, but
Like, I wasn't expecting this.
I really hate the hazelnut taste, though. It's like drinking a soda, right? And then getting like boiling hot water instead.
It's like, well,
this is too different.
It was like, yeah, your expectations versus reality were.
Yeah, I was expecting something delicious, not something just derived from bat guano. But whatever. I'll live.
Is it hazelnut? You're hating on hazelnut, bro?
Yeah, I don't like hazelnut, man. I don't like
That's
nut
like my
flavored things.
I like hazelnut, and I will fucking put hazelnut creamer in with my hazelnut coffee, and I'll double it up.
Okay.
Double the nuts.
Too
One,
much,
two.
Too much nut for me.
Too much nutty goodness for you, dude.
Oh man. Yeah, I got that FPS issue again. I see. That's all right though.
I told you, dude. Like it just gets worse as it keeps going. Like it's not. I don't think anything we can do about it, bro.
Yeah.
I think like you're like, we'll just ignore it. It'll be fine.
I'm just gonna call it out because everyone watching is gonna be like, "What the fuck is Chip in is Chip in a time loop?" But
no, I'm gonna just yeah, like I was saying, I'm just gonna pick up a different camera here. I think there's like a hardware or software update, and since then it's been worse.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll get through it.
Sometimes you get a software update that breaks your gum string held together by scotch tape production.
True. It's all right.
And it all falls apart.
Yeah, man. So after you called me out on the green screen, I had to get rid of it and show just how barren behind the green screen is. So
I feel like for every one thing we fix, like five more things break.
Oh, 100%. That's just the law of averages, though, right? So I got my HOTAS up there. I got my old joystick, but underneath that, I got the Tatsunoko versus Capcom arcade stick. I got my soldering iron kit. There's some network cable stuff. That box there is a return to Amazon.
It's been there since 1998.
Oh yeah, there's my old microphone there, that Blue Yeti that's kind of held up. Graphics card box because why not? You never
I have
know.
like the same problem where like I have like a couple of like graphics card boxes, and like I don't want to throw them away for some reason. Like.
Because you feel if you get a new one, right? Like you just put it back in the box when you have the old one, right? Just in case that one fails and you can go back to it, right?
Yeah,
that's
I think it's like a security blanket, right? Yeah, like you're saying, like you never want to be completely naked, and I feel like graphics cards burn out more than anything. I would say like RAM, hard drives, graphics cards, like those are the things that are like points of failure.
Yeah, the other thing, like I never get rid of my motherboard boxes unless that motherboard is gone and in the trash. Like my wife was like, because I had them stacked up back there, she's like, at least get rid of those look like trash. So they're like, I have in our storage room, I have a nice space for all of my miscellaneous computer stuff. So it's like motherboards, power supply box in case, because I had to RMA like 3 of them when I built the other computer. So
what's up with that? I feel like motherboards always are at least more likely to arrive dead on arrival. Like I've had more issues with motherboards than any other computer component.
So when I built,
I order it and it just shows up and it's dead. And then like you have to go through like the whole thing. You're like, is it every other new component?
Yes, it's such bullshit. So when I built this computer that I'm on now, Amazon left all the shit in front of my garage stacked up, and like the snow had melted a little bit, so the case itself, thankfully they just put the case on it, was just sopping wet, like the box was. And luckily there was like, plastic on the inside, but then like the motherboard was stacked on top of that, the RAM and stuff, and then the graphics card was like on the tippity top. I'm like, what the fuck? The fuck, Amazon? So I brought all that in, put everything together, kept getting blue screens of death, and narrowed it down to either the RAM or the motherboard. So I just got both, right, just in case.
Yeah.
So I went to try the new RAM, it was fine. And I went to try the new motherboard and it was fine. So I was like, okay, let's see what was wrong with the other thing. Turns out both the motherboard and the RAM were bad. so
It's just both die.
so
Yeah.
I just got lucky. So when building a new computer, if you're ordering things online and you live in a winter state, make sure a UPS or Amazon driver knows where the hell your house is because that was some bullshit.
I want to
Um,
say also like most electronics are not graded to work under like 30 degrees. Like if it's like 30 or below, like that's when things start to fail. And like when you get below zero, like that's
yeah,
when like things start to break. Like
yeah,
if you don't leave things in like electronics in your car in winter, if
yeah.
you're in a colder state, like
I will
bring
say,
them in.
around the holidays though, I did like put out like snacks for the delivery drivers because like between kids and stuff, I'm getting packages a lot for like Christmas and my daughter's birthday's around that time, things like that. So, we're getting packages a lot. So I was like, oh, it's like I had a buddy who was a delivery driver, so I was like, yeah, it kind of sucks for him. So I just had like a packet of hot cocoa and like stuff like that out, and they grabbed it and stuff. So when it came time to build my buddy the Big Puffer, who anyone who watches my stream has seen him on a couple of times. Shout out Big Puffer. When I built his computer, everything came to my door and they handed it to me. They like knocked, rang the
Like,
bell,
hey,
like
how's it
they were like,
going?
"Hey, what's up?" And then they handed me all of his stuff. So his stuff was delivered with like a smile, man. So I think more of that story. Be nice to your delivery drivers, like even if they screw you over, just make sure that little bit of kindness goes a long way.
I
So what have
always
you been?
try and like
Yeah.
because I like have like I'm in a complex where I have to like go down. There's like a secure entrance.
Yep.
I try and meet people down there. I try to be there before them. Or like every
Yeah.
time like I order anything like food or something's coming to the door and like I'm expecting like a package, I'm like I try to be there and like I will just wait for like 4 or 5 minutes because I'm like having been on the other side of that where like I'm like trying to call and like get people like rendezvous with like delivery drivers and stuff. It's like the worst uh
Yeah.
anything you can make to make that process easier. Like people are like always surprised. Like I'll order like stuff. Like sometimes I'll order groceries, and I'll be down. Like they have carts in like this facility, so like I'll be down there with a cart waiting for them, and they're like, "Holy shit, this is crazy!" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like I knew you were coming. Like whatever. Like I gotta wait. Like I gotta be slightly inconvenienced for you to bring food to my doorstep, for like 4 minutes." I'm like, it's like a fair trade off,
Yeah. 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 I will say the one like exception is DoorDash delivery that when they're lazy because my house like my garage is like in the front technically and my house is behind my garage, so you have to like walk around to get to my front door. So like on all of the delivery apps, I'm like if you're in front of the garage, follow the path on the right, there's the house. So like 90% of the time it's fine, but that 10% sticks out like a sore thumb. And I'll have like a DoorDash driver call me going, I can't find your house. And like across the street. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you not read? And then I make sure to park the car in the garage too, right? So they can see the numbers. And even then, there's like in random spots. And one time I had a delivery just go to my neighbors, like my neighbor, like we kind of have like a wall. It's not like a fence, but it's a literal wall that divides us. And she just like handed me my stuff over the wall. She's like, "Why can no one find your house?" It's like I don't know. I have no idea. So
Your house is
yeah,
hidden, dude.
yeah, dude. That's it's whatever. You call it Gimpy's hidden fortress. I'm getting
Yeah,
this.
man.
I'll have to have you over, especially in the summer, man, because some outside things are
I've been
happening.
waiting for your like rec center to reopen, dude.
Yeah,
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 I'm using you as like a friend to the proxy with the pool, dude. I'm like, hey man, how you go? How's it going? How are you? You're like, oh, I'm doing. I'm like, so what's up with your pool going? What's new with that? Any word?
yeah.
Is that reopen? Is it open during the winter? You're like, ah, yeah. And I'm like,
No,
all
it's
right, man,
COVID,
yeah.
man. They just were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Pool
now,
closed due to COVID
yep, yep. So
and AIDS.
now there's actually meetings talking about reopening it. The rec part of the clubhouse is open now, so we can go in there, play some pool, play some ping pong. There's like a TV in there. We can just chill. I could probably host a LAN party there or something. But the pool itself, um, like our HOA rules. are stating that to make sure that there's the correct amount of people in that area, there needs to be a dedicated watch, like not a lifeguard, but like a watcher or watchman or whatever,
To make sure
there
that
during
the
the day.
COVID's not getting in the pool.
Yeah. To make sure no one's just like sitting there with their tongues out going, and just
That's what everybody does in the pool, dude. Any like kid under 12 years old, that's all they do in the pool. They go, "Bleh."
yeah.
They like start
So,
like they try and like spit water across the pool at other kids into their face.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I'll keep you posted for sure, because like I'm getting this thing for my porch with my family's just like a big thing to like announce myself like this is my house or whatever. Like
Oh
it's not
yeah,
quite a crest, but it's like a symbol that'll be there. I'm like, Prince, dude, I'm gonna have
getting
a symbol.
a family emblem,
Yeah, dude.
a coat of arms,
Hell
dude.
yeah, hell yeah. So
All right.
yeah, so we'll see. It's big things are happening there, and I got an outdoor outlet. I'm getting that installed, so and a projector too. So we could just chill out, play some games out there, watch some sporting events and stuff. Grill. It'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Yeah, man. What's your hot take on the vaccine, bro?
Oh man, that's a whole different topic of episodes, brother. I mean, I have relatives who are pharmacists who are actually, I won't like completely like dox them or myself. I'm saying where they work or what they do, but she says that why not? I think people are just wary because of how quickly it happened, but a vaccine came quickly out of necessity.
I would say that people should be more upset on how long other things take to get approved by the
Hmm.
FDA and like how
Yeah,
expensive the process is.
yeah,
Because like that cost always gets shoved on to the consumer. Like at the end of the day, where you're like, why
true.
is my prescription drug so expensive? It's like because the R&D is like, I think like $3 or $5 billion to get through like all the different
Yeah,
trials and stuff. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I think what gives a lot of people caution is like the speed of it, because it's like, oh, vaccines take like 15 years to actually make. I'm like, yeah, when there's no funding or it's not like at the forefront of things, it's like you'd be surprised how quickly things happen when there's money pushed into it. So
Yeah, when
I
there's like a pre-order for like 300 million vaccines.
yeah,
Uh,
so I haven't gotten it like a lot of people around in my life have so far. I mean,
I got part one, dude.
yeah, so
And I
so
want special fucking privileges.
mm,
I
there
want
it
to
is.
be able to be like, I got the card. Fuck off. I'm done with your mask bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to go fucking swimming naked in your fucking community pool because I'm vaccinated, dude. I don't have to worry about it no more.
So everybody
It's solved.
right. So if you grow like an extra hand or whatever, well, no, we're gonna mark this episode
Yeah,
as
this was the moment.
the moment that X-Men becomes a reality, where people are getting vaccinated, people who haven't
If
gotten
it gave
vaccinated yet
people
separates it.
superpowers, would you be pissed?
Would I be pissed?
Yeah, like
No,
you didn't
I'd be
get it, and
pissed
they're
I
like,
didn't
we
get
gotta
it right
stop.
away.
People are getting superpower. That first wave of people who got it, they got fucking superpowers. We gotta stop now. We gotta figure out what fucking happened.
What superpower would you want? Like, you can't decide,
Uh,
but let's say, what would you hope for?
for me, like I was talking about, I would think like the ability to stop time, like time manipulation. I
Okay,
feel like I never have
okay,
enough time. I feel like that's
got
like
it.
a great power to have, like
That is a
time
good power.
travel.
That is a good power. I see. I find
Eh,
that time powers get you in trouble more often than not because of messing with like the, time space continuum and like would you just stop time, or would you be able to like alter it to like future past, or would you just stop it?
I want to say like if I have to choose one, I'm gonna say just like stop. If I could slow down or stop time,
Yeah.
like I could get like time to move at like 1/8 the speed or something than like normal.
Yeah.
I would take that.
I'd abuse the shit out of it. I'd like go to the Olympics, right? Like Usain Bolt's
Would it
going,
be like
and
the Flash style thing where it's like physics is still at play? So it's like if I move something, it's now moving. Like if I move it at like 1 mile an hour, but it's like 1/8 the speed. Now it's like 80 miles an hour. Like when I
I would
press go
assume
again.
so. I would assume so.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd go for the Olympics, right? And I'd beat like all of the records by like point 0.1 of a second. You know, so it's like, oh, who's this dude that's just randomly running, who's never trained? What's his deal? I wouldn't say anything about powers, you know, and I'd go to the Olympics and I just like torch Usain Bolt, get on the Wheaties box and stuff, and I would just instead of everyone would be all like, oh, this is a normal looking dude, but no one would ever see me train. I'd just be like gorging pizzas and stuff.
It's like, who's this dude with the dad bod, fucking
Yeah.
with the legs of thunder?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck is
And
this?
I would do it purely because I could, and I would find it funny. So
What if you would you take the like webbing if you had like a Spider-Man webbing?
yeah. I think everyone.
What if it had to come out your butthole?
I'm 100%. Yeah, okay, I do it. But
Like a real spider, dude.
for what's funny is that Spider-Man's my favorite, like beyond a shadow of a doubt. And it's so funny with
Yeah.
this pod that I think I've worn a Spider-Man shirt a couple of times, and there's a
I'm
Spider-Man
surprised it's
behind
taken
me.
us this long to drop
to-
Spider.
Yeah, because like Ninja Gaiden has become the meme, right? For how often I mention it, but I feel in the larger spectrum
We
of my
talked
life.
about Miles Morales for a little bit. One
Oh
point.
yeah. We did, didn't we? But at the larger spectrum of life, I feel like I bring Spider-Man up way more than anything else. So it's funny that it hasn't happened on the pod. But having webbing and stuff would like so here. That's his thing. He doesn't.
From your butt.
He made it. He made it though. Only the
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and the Ultimate Spider-Man
The cartoon.
were organics. You know,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't apply. I feel like climbing up walls and stuff would be one thing. It's kind of a lame power though, right? It's like
To be able to
it's
climb
like-
up walls like really good.
yeah, it's kind of
There's
a lame
like
power.
legitimate like free climbers that basically have that power.
Yeah, right.
And, like nobody
So-
gives a shit. I couldn't tell you who they are. I know there's like two extremely like a female lady just broke some crazy record.
It's cool,
and,
dude.
like,
Give me that
yeah.
shot, and you'll see Mr. Gimpy in the top free climber in the world.
top free.
Oh man, I feel like this is a gaming podcast though, man. What have you been up to lately?
For games, I've been actually playing a lot more mobile games lately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
So it's been like there's one called AFK Arena, Summoner's War. I got back on the sauce. I used to play a ton of Summoner's War, and I took a break from it for a long time, for like a couple of years, and then I was like, you know what? Let me because I started like what it's called? I think like Idle Heroes or some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
made by like Moon Ton Games. They're like kind of like a big player in the mobile space. So I got that, and I was like, oh, let me try this out, and that was like the gateway back into like, oh, let me see what this AFK Arena is about.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like the art aesthetic is kind of like a more 2D classical animated style, like the early Disney style stuff.
Sure.
It-
Sure.
I don't know, man. And then like from there, I was just like, it's really good. That fucking Summoner's War, man. Let me get some of that Summoner's War in here. So then I re-downloaded that and I like resynced my account.
Okay.
And the way I quit Summoner's War was like by like changing the password where I wouldn't be able to remember it to ever log back in. And so then I was like, fuck it, I gotta find what email this was. I gotta look it up. Cause yeah, man. What about you?
So let me
What's up?
back up a little bit because that's funny you mentioned Summoner's War. So Chip keeps this on the down low, but Chip used to stream and he was probably like based on the games you streamed and like the short amount of time you did stream, you're probably the most successful of all of us in terms of streaming because of you streaming Summoner's War.
It's probably like the number 2 Summoner's War streamer on Twitch in the world for like a year.
Because I think you had
And,
affiliate like in the first couple
Yeah,
weeks.
dude, like,
I feel
I took off like just wildfire because I was like one of the few people who like had like a good setup where like I had a camera, my face.
it wasn't just
like,
capturing mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's really hard to do. It's really hard to set up. Like there's like a bigger barrier to entry when you're trying to stream like a mobile game. And like I also got like super lucky that like there's probably like 4 people streaming because there was a big Summoners War tournament going on at that day.
Yeah.
And like right when I got on, I'd been streaming the game for like a week at that point. And then like that day, like that tournament got over, and the people like hosted me. So like I got like 4,000 or 5,000 people like just like dumped into my channel.
Yep.
And then from there, like I probably averaged around like 60 to 70 people like when I was streaming like on the weekend.
Yeah.
And like during the week, probably like 20 to 30.
Yeah.
But I love Summoner's War. Like it's a fun game. Like it's an idle game, like where it has the idle option,
Hmm.
but I would say the combat has enough depth where it gets like more challenging things for like the arena where you're battling like PvP other people. Like you want to like know what your monsters do and know how to play. And then like for the Tower of Ascension TOA, like from levels like 50 up, there's like different challenges where you have to know what your like your summons do and like how they synergize and like use that to like freeze out an enemy line or like target a specific uh character and then like yeah it's but it also has the auto run feature and it has like the grindy thing where it's like you have to grind out a bunch of ruins to like get your monsters to get like strong enough, so you want to build out a strong enough reliable team to get the auto generated rewards. So it has that bullshit built in. uh there's definitely some pay to win features that they sell sometimes, but not always. Like they're like the summons are kind of like second class to the ruins. Like if you don't have good ruins and those like boost like your stats, it's basically like equipment. You know, like if you like think of it like
Okay.
helmet,
Yeah.
you know, armor. Like the ruins are basically that, but they're stat boosters the same way like equipment would be. uh, and like you have to really grind for like legendary ruins. So it's basically you're grinding for legendary equipment that will like take your team, and like what's most important is good synergy. You can get like a lot of like 4-star monsters that are pretty competitive as long as they like synergize well. And then like you can also like kind of build your own gumbo once you kind of realize like what there's just certain broken characters as there are in any game. Like we kind of talked about, like whoever's like the new hotness comes out, where it's like this guy stuns everybody almost 100%. So you want to have him, like if you want to be competitive,
Yeah.
or like this guy breaks 100% of like negative effects on your team when it's their turn. That's their passive. So it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, Summoners Wars. I feel they have a thing called like fusion, where you can take like 3 or 4-star monsters and fuse them into like a 5-star like better monster, like a you I think like most people would understand from gacha games is like SSR, like super secret rare or whatever. I don't know what the
Yes.
fucking
Yes.
it stands for. Super rare. So you can like fuse like the SSR basically monsters from regular monsters you can get through playing the game.
Okay.
And like you get an option during the week. Like every day, there's like different secret dungeons that spawn, and from those, you can get the characters needed to fuse to a better character. So like if you put in like the effort and like some strategy, like you can like I think like 2 of my best monsters are just like fuse from that.
Okay.
And then they help me grind out uh to get I think like 5 or 6 like SSR monsters that are like the best in the game.
Yeah.
Uh
So yeah, no, that's so it's kind of a gotcha game then, would you say, or is it?
yeah, oh definitely.
Okay, okay. So I'm just gonna put like the gotcha game definition just like up here. I can't remember who's editing this episode. Is it you? Is it me? I
I think
think it's
it's
you.
you, dude.
Oh, it's me.
No,
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I'll do it.
I got
Okay.
2 in the pipe right now that I got
Yeah,
still do
yeah,
like
yeah.
at
So
some
it's me.
point.
So I'll put like a definition for gotcha game above us, and
Gotcha,
can
boys.
you explain it a little bit for anyone who doesn't know what a gotcha mechanic is? Um,
So a gotcha mechanic is like you may have seen like those little like coin just like at like a grocery store or something where it's like you put in coins and like you spin a little knob and like a little uh capsule comes out and
yep.
like you open it up and it's like a randomized prize. A gotcha is basically was popularized in Japan. It's the same thing over there. It's like gotcha machines that they have where they have like blocks of like those like vending quarter machines with randomized prizes. They love gambling in Japan. So it's basically like digital gambling.
Yep.
Uh, for so what happens in Summoner's War is like you get summoning scrolls, and there's like the plain ones, and that gives you like a level 1 through 3 star monster.
Yep.
And basically anything under 3 is basically trash.
Yep.
But like you can level those up as like feed to like a level 3 monster.
S-
And then they have like a thing called like a mystic scroll, and that gives you like a chance to get like a 3 star to a 5 star monster. but like the odds are so fucking ridiculously low to get like those 5-star monsters. Like you might as well go play like real fucking scratch offs. Like
Better
the
odds.
yeah, like if you're thinking about putting actual money into this, like don't like
Yeah.
uh and then you also have to understand that like I'm always suspicious. I'm like, because I've ended up with like 2 5-star monsters in that game. And I'm like, how much of this is like luck or how much is it did like the community, somebody in the back, like fuck with the numbers where like I would get better rolls because I stream. And I'm like almost certain that they fuck with the numbers. And I've told people that and they're like, no, bro, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, dude, okay, yeah. Big businesses would like write this off as
Right.
like it's free for them. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
So
they were
like
using you as a tent pole. So they're like, oh, Chip got all
as
of
an
this stuff,
advertisement,
and
yeah, you
then
could
gets more
too.
people. Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, no,
and
no, that's a great
so they do
definition of it.
things like A/B testing and stuff now too, where they like they'll send like different versions of like the same targeted thing, where it's like buy the beginner pack for 10.99, and then they'll send it to somebody else and they'll be like obtain the beginner's pack for 10.99. But it's like the same thing, but like different wording. They'll
Yep,
do try different pricing structures, and
yep.
they do it like all in real time, and they send it off uh, to everybody. And like I know like Farmville like on Facebook was like pretty big into this testing and stuff, and like I know
Yep.
the indie game dev uh, maker Jonathan Blow. He did like a talk on this, and he had a part that I thought was like really clever, where he was like, uh, "They're basically playing a more interesting game than Farmville, which is like turning the users into the Farmville and like extracting as much money as they can." And
Yep.
they're like, he was like, "That's the way more interesting game than like what they're presenting as Farmville." It was
Yeah.
like the human psychology of like what gets people to like impulse buy and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Now, let me tell you a little bit about just my experience with mobile gaming. I am not a fan. Just it's I feel it's polluted with a lot of free to play ad based cookie clicker revenue generating things that aren't games. I had this feeling for the majority of the life of mobile gaming space. I will say that at this moment in time, there are a few genres that I've found that work just as well, if not better, in the mobile space. One genre is that I'll just touch on briefly, just because of my children's level of enjoyment with it, are auto runners. Something about it has that like gambling drip of euphoria every time you get further and further. There's
it's
some
literally a
things.
slot machine, bro.
It is. It is. So I think auto runners work well on mobile because they're short or experiences that can be as long as you want based on your skill. I feel like auto runners are one of the things that kind of tests skill in the mobile space because typically most games are based on luck. I personally found. The other thing that I think works phenomenally well on mobile, and actually I am legitimately surprised no one's truly capitalized on this, is CCGs, trading card games, collectible card games, like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, the big one, and there's like this Korean card game that I can't remember what it's called, but that's super popular right now. I think that
I
that
mean, Hearthstone broke that barrier. Like, they're kind of one of the first ones to cross over, and like
yeah,
as soon as they did, I was like, "Oh, this game will never be good again." Like,
yeah,
because like everything went kind of like geared towards more mobile players from that point onward, and they stopped caring about like balance and gameplay.
yeah,
And they started like pumping up more randomized fucking. It got to the point where like I think it was like the last Hearthstone tournament, like made pro teams quit Hearthstone because there's like so much like RNG like bullshit from the cards. Whereas like people are like, okay, so it's just fucking like a straight slot machine at this point.
yeah,
Like it like they took out like all the skill play from like the cards.
yeah.
But before that, it was more like I love Hearthstone early on, and like I rage quit after they took away my card. Uh,
Mm, I
so they
think.
basically hold on. Let
Go
me
ahead.
fucking do my old man fucking rant, dude. I'm fucking salty about this card. Um, so they like it was like one of the first things where they had like a a pathway where it's like, oh, you can pay money and unlock like this mini game. And when you unlock this mini game, we're guaranteeing you like these like 5 cards. And like one of them was like a hunter card, and I was like playing hunter back in the day. This is like way early, like when the game first came out. And hunter was kind of overpowered. You can make like a good zoo deck and like Zerg a bit. But this hunter card like was just fucking broken. It was like a random +4/+4 to like a animal or some bullshit like that. And I was like,
Okay.
well, this is fucking broken. If I want to be competitive, I needed this card. And so I was like, I gotta pay $10 for it. I'm okay with that. Whatever, dude. Like I basically got enough out of this enjoyment out of this game where it's like this is worth $10. So I
Yeah.
get the card, and then like a few months later, they're like, "Oh yeah, that card's fucking broken. We gotta nerf the shit out of it." And I'm like, "You just fucking stole my card. I gave you $10
Right.
for that card, and it's not like a random card. It's not like I gave you $10 for a chance at a random card. It was like you guaranteed me this card, like in your pack. Like I feel like there's like false advertising. Like you shouldn't be able to like go in and like you can't be like, I guarantee you these like 5 things like
Yeah.
rewards
Yeah.
and then change them up just because like you broke your own meta by being greedy fucks. You knew what you're doing. You wanted my $10. I gave you my $10.
Yeah.
And now like you're like, ha ha ha, fuck you, dude. We broke our game because of that. And I'm like, I know you fucking broke your game, dude. That's why I gave you the money. I'm paying to win. I'm paying to like be competitive because
Yep.
everybody else has this broken fucking card. And if I don't have it, I can't counter it. Uh,
That's fair, dude. And I'm glad you mentioned the pay to win aspect because that's what trading card games are. It's basic. They're the first pay to win. The ones that are bad, we're all pay to win. You know what I mean? And the ones that kind of the cream where the cream rises to the top are ones where you could definitely pay to get an advantage, but you don't need to continually pay to win. And I think modern day Magic with its seasons and its set like card structure has solved that problem. And I think Hearthstone is trying to go that route, but there's still like this mobile game like muddling of its core system that's really hurting it. And Hearthstone players, please chime in and let me know if I'm how wrong or right I am on that. I will say that me saying that like trading card games work really well on mobile, I will add to that. Single player trading card game experiences work the best. One of my favorite roguelikes ever, and we will do a full episode on roguelikes very soon. I promise. I'm going to force Chip to do it. Is Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire. It's you versus like enemies. You're climbing up a tower to slay the final boss. You get
is
random
it a
cards coming in.
spire?
It is a spire, and so you're getting these cards or whatever. You build your deck as you go on. You can choose to upgrade cards as you go. There's randomization. There's a lot of tactics involved. There's a lot of like min maxing your cards and things like that, and it's probably so as far as roguelikes that I played, the number one on my Steam list is Binding of Isaac by far. And what rose so quickly to number two, replacing like Nuclear Throne, Darkest Dungeon, and other things was Slay the Spire. And typically I don't get into card games, but that one just gripped me like no other. And recently it was released on mobile, and like if now I work from home, so I don't need it. I have access to Slay the Spire at all times, but I know if there's a point where I will be gone from home for a while, I'm just gonna buy that on the phone and just continue playing it because it's that good and it works. It's a card game, so it works so well in the palm of your hand. And I
Let me
think
tell you about a little thing called free to play AFK Arena. Like basically like AFK Arena and Idol Hero or whatever it is, that Moonton game. They
mhm.
both have like a Slay the Spire mode now, where it's
Really
like
okay.
you have
A
like
lot of
your
places are
team.
stealing. Yeah.
Yeah. I found this with like a lot of mobile games, especially like the where they're trying to extract money. They do like the off-brand version of like whatever's popular. So
Yeah.
like Moonton also has like that I think it's called Mobile Legends. It's like a League of Legends ripoff.
Okay.
So it's basically League of Legends, but they also have like an auto chess mode, and they have like another like ARAM mode and stuff. Basically, whatever's like kind of popular. Like, how can we just throw this in our game. Like, just get like the off-brand version of it, where it's like this is good enough, and it has like our own characters. So
Yeah,
like both AFK Arena and like that other game, pretty sure it's the right
Idle
game.
Heroes or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they both have like a Slay the Spire mode now, where it's like a roguelike thing where you take your team of heroes into a dungeon, and every bad guy you beat gives you a card that like boosts like stats, but they're random. It's like three random cards, and you get to choose like what you
Okay.
want, and like you try and power up your team, and like basically if you don't get any like health regen cards, you die. Like that's GG.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, like I think Slay the Spire is definitely like a great uh TCG style roguelike game where it's like everybody's stealing from that playbook now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Shout out to those devs. Great stuff that you guys did. So now I know you're playing a lot of mobile games, and I just have to ask: do you think where it is now it's good for the gaming space as a whole, or what would you like to see change? What would you like to see adopted on the other side of more traditional games, if anything?
So I know we kind of talked about this a little bit before the pod even started. Where I'm like, I would consider mobile games like I was like looking up like what slot machines are considered, and it's called like a gambling game. I think is like the
Yeah,
legal definition. So
yeah,
I would put them like pretty like close. Where I would say like a mobile game's closer to gambling game. I feel like they prey on your psychology a lot more, but I feel like most traditional games also do that now. So we kind
yeah.
of talked a little bit about this where it's like a slot machine mechanic. And I noticed this when I played a lot of League of Legends back in the day, where I'm like, I noticed that I get paired up every 7 to 11 matches with an opponent whose skill level is way fucking better than me. Like,
Okay,
just like this is an impossible match for me. Like the other team, their team is just way better than our team. Uh and like I can just tell like the quality of play is like just higher.
okay,
And I'm like, I know I'm not imagining this because I look at like, I was like deep enough where I was like, you type in, you look up like the elos and stuff of like everybody, and you're like, yeah, these guys are like a rank and a half better than us. They shouldn't be here in like a silver game. Like they're like upper gold level players.
sure.
Uh, so the game makes a match that you're going to lose on purpose, like between 7 and 11 games. And then I
Okay,
found between like 11 and 20 games, I am that team where like I'm matched with somebody who's way worse than me and
yeah,
we just skunk them. But that's a slot machine mechanic where it's like you're randomizing a reward and like you're randomizing a loss where they know like you're going to lose like X amount of games, you're going to win X amount based on like what we've randomized in here. Like it's no longer skill based. And I know EA just put out like a copyright for something like that as well, where they're like, oh, we're going to copyright like this type of matchmaking as well. Uh, so like I know like EA's at least saying that they're doing it and they're trying to like protect like their intellectual property for like how they do it.
okay,
So they've been doing it with like Call of Duty and stuff as well. So I would say even like more traditional match based games, like there's some fucky shit going on with them to prey on your psychology to get you to play one more game or to get you to get that good feeling from their game of like, oh, I just destroyed this team. Like uh I don't know, like not to put like down in everybody's minds of like, oh, am I really that good or am I like just, because I know like for some single player games or like based games, like your skill play can you're just that good where like it doesn't really matter. So, but like I think even they will feel like a pendulum swing where it's like, wow, that match was way more challenging than every other match, and I'm really good at this kid, like
yeah.
uh and
I
so yeah, man.
I think that's kind of there may be some weird fuckery going on with matchmaking. I will say that so most games adopted the elo rating system that's used in one of our favorite topics to bring up on the pod, chess. um,
Chess.
and it works really well for chess, but however the amount of like subsequent games you can get with the video game space is incredible. So I feel there's like a separate elo variation that a lot of other games use that I feel is better because it takes quantity into account. over quality. So those games where the pendulum's swinging your way, where you're just dominant, are worth less for you winning versus the games where you win, where it was like a hard fought battle. So you get like a bigger boost.
Elo wise, but like your mind doesn't care. Like all you care is like how good you're doing. It's like
yeah.
It's just
but,
like, again, it's a Skinner box where it's like it's dumping out like an endorphin rush to the player.
But I
So,
feel like in games where
dude, do you care if you fucking won the jackpot if it's like $10 versus like $100,000, or is like all the lights buzzing telling you like, oh, you won, you're like, oh shit, I'm a winner. Like there's something to that, like in a deep, like it's extremely predatory.
Let me tell you this story with that. So you're right. Some games do the gambling aspect a lot more than others. I think that the true next big battle royale will do that. Because right now, when you win any battle royale game, right, it's just like a wall of text comes up going, "You're the winner, you made it," and nothing really happens.
The next big battle royale is going to be video blackjack, 1 versus 100 players.
Yeah. Just start throwing up fireworks. Give me like a bunch of 3D visual of my characters just fucking flying through space, just blowing like just with a bunch of lights and shiny
doing
stuff
the Fortnite
happening.
Dance.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring this up when we're doing what I'm playing later, because I feel like mobile was just a good thing to keep going on this episode for what I've been playing. But the next battle royale has to do that, because having a thing of text going "you won" isn't enough, right? Yeah. So, but the story I wanted to get to with gambling and why it's one of those things where it's just playing with your mind, it's playing with the slow drip of endorphin rushes versus
your emotions
versus like a big just explosion of like euphoria.
It's like the Backstreet Boys said, "Boys, don't stop playing games with my heart."
Right. So my grandma, like most elderly people, my grandma on my dad's side, loves playing her slots. Right. She's a nickel slot player. And this is back in the day when you actually
love playing slots too, man. But I also like mobile games. Like I'm
I'm
not above this. I'm not disparaging these things.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I am aware of like how these are trying to take advantage of me, and I'm okay with that. I have fun doing it.
Yep.
I don't have an addiction, is what I'm saying.
Says the addict. But anyway, my grandma's throwing in nickels, right? She nickel pull.
I'm right there next to
her. Gets a couple of gets a couple of wins. She starts scooping it up back when they actually had to scoop up your stuff. Yeah, she got the bucket, pulling. Pulls one, pulls. Boom, all in a row, like highest jackpot, like on the measure. Let's just say they're gold bars, right?
Bars. Yep.
Yeah, she has the bars, and so just boom, lights, camera, action, just shine. Fireworks are appearing behind her. There's a bunch of sparklers, and so she has a heart attack.
Oh shit!
She has a heart attack, passes out. My dad gets a call, and I'll let you fix your video while I'm talking about this. But my dad gets a call, and this was when I was a kid too. So
camera had a heart attack, dude. From that
I see that from the story. So she gets airlifted to this hospital, right? And she comes to after getting the defibrillator. She comes to. The first thing she goes, she's all, when you get defibbed, it like bruises the hell out of you, right? So she's bruised up. She can barely move. She turns over to my dad and goes, "I want $1 million." And then my dad goes, "No, Mom, you won $300." I will never forget the look of disappointment on her face when my dad told her that, where she had a straight heart attack from $300. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd love to win $300, right? But it wasn't worth the
hospital expense.
The hospital expense. I'm sure, like between the airlift charges, which I think the casino paid for. It wasn't so long ago, but I'm pretty sure the casino paid for it. But between the airlift, hospital stay, and she had to stay like for 3 days, that $300 is gone. So welcome back, Chip. So yeah, casino stuff. It works, but I feel like
I saw that type of situation also. Not to try and one up your story.
Yeah,
this is kind of like a little a more sadder story, which you don't have to say that your grandmother in Artek's not sad. But I was at a casino, I was playing blackjack,
Yep.
and somebody had a heart attack and everybody just kept playing. Like nobody gave a fuck, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like I was just like sitting there, I was like, holy shit, that lady had a heart attack. And like there's like EMTs and shit, like where you just all kept fucking going, dude. And like all the pit boss did was like put like their winnings aside from the person on the toilet. They're like, all right, we gotta guard their winnings. We gotta guard their winnings. And they had like a person like come in and like stand by like their fucking $300 of like
Yeah.
chips or whatever, dude. And like I'm like, this person's literally possibly dying right here. Like we're all just like, yeah, shit happens, I guess. Like, it's
The
fucking
when I
nuts,
worked
dude.
at a casino, I worked at a card house, so it wasn't a true casino, but you had definitely had regulars. Um, I went to the bathroom and there was a guy in there, and I like recognized the shoes, right? Because he's like, "These are my lucky shoes." And if anyone who watches this, there's a certain person, Sunshine. If you are watching or listening to this, you'll know who I'm talking about. But anyway, he worked with me, so.
He's
Uh,
sunshine, dude. It was him.
Yeah, so this guy's like my lucky shoes, and I went to the bathroom and like up by this, he saw him go in, and he went to the stall. So I'm like, okay, dude's taking shit, no big deal. And I worked like a 10-hour shift that day, so I'm there. It gets to be like 4 a.m. And I went to the bathroom a couple of times because I'm like pounding energy drinks all the time, and shoes are still there. Shoes are still there. I go to the security desk and I'm like, listen, and the guy's kind of older, right? He's not too old. He's like probably 50s, but
That's
it's
old,
enough
man.
to where you worry for why this guy was sitting on the shitter for like at that point 7 hours.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Security comes in, knocks on the door, nothing. Opens the door. Dude fell asleep with his phone in his hand playing mobile poker.
Yeah,
Fell asleep, pants at his ankles, mid shit.
that'll happen,
like
man.
that's the level where I feel a lot of these, and I will say like the Korean developed games are like notorious for this, where that's the level that they want to go to, where you lose all sense of self, and that is where I feel mobile gaming is kind of
Like
dangerous.
I might be speaking out of school here, but I'm pretty sure they passed a law like for games made in South Korea for like MMORPGs, where it has to tell you like how much time has passed.
Yeah,
Where like, because I used to play this Korean MMO, shout outs to Lineage 2, and like after one update, it was like you've been playing for 8 hours. Consider taking a 15-minute break. And I think they started doing it with like League of Legends too at some point, where it's like,
okay,
hey, you should take a 10-minute break here, buddy. You've been
yeah,
playing for 6 hours at a time. Like, but I'm pretty sure it's because people fucking died because they're getting
yeah,
lost in their game,
yeah.
so they got sued or had to pass some sort of legislation to like be like, hey, maybe remind people to take a fucking break from your super addicting game, dude.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
yeah.
Like some people do heroin, others play mobile games. It's
Get
like
the
one of the same
gotcha.
almost. So with the mobile games you play, and you mentioned that the game that you love is of Summoner's War. Don't put money into it because it's not worth it.
I would
Is
say
there?
get the beginner pack, get the intermediate pack. If you're gonna put money in, like those are your best dollar per value.
Yeah,
Uh get your crystal builders right away and like they'll pay for themselves for the you'll get your red gems back. Uh yeah, I've always in my head I've always been cognitive. Like we've touched on it before, where I think in dollars per entertainment for
yes,
myself.
yes,
So for me, it's about $10 for every 2 hours of entertainment. So that for me is like a movie.
yeah,
Where like I don't mind like paying $10 for like a really entertaining movie. I'm like, oh, that was worth the money. Uh, so that's kind of always been my metric. So I like for a mobile game, like if I've put like 40, 50, or 100 hours into it, like putting like $20, $30 into like their beginner pack that like helps me out in the game. I'm like, this is a good dollar value for me
yeah,
personally. Uh, I would say where it gets tricky for that, I would try and say, don't think you can outspend the game to win. Like,
mm,
you know what I'm saying?
good
Like,
point.
don't try and be like pay to win. Be like even like Fortnite, like I put $60 into that for skins. Because like I got so much entertainment out of Fortnite. Like when I first came out, I played a lot of it with my buddies. And it was a good time, and I was like, "Oh, this is a cool skin that I want. I want to support like the development of this game." And that game makes billions of dollars, so it's like uh, I think if you make things people love, like they don't mind supporting it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think where it gets predatory with a lot of mobile games or trading card games, which is like where they have like a pay to win aspect, or where you feel like you're letting down like guild mates or like your other people, like because like you can't help
You
them
didn't
out by
buy.
borrowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good point. So, and then on the last point of the question that I had for you, is there anything that the mobile space does that you would like to see done in more traditional gaming experiences?
Uh, I think their UIs are incredibly good and intuitive for the most part.
Yeah,
I think simplifying a lot of like just text and I don't know, like UI is like one of the best paid, I would say, parts of like a video game.
yeah,
Like if you're gonna get into like game development, I would say like try and become like a person who just does UI. Uh, even for like anything like software, hardware, UI is like a unsung hero of like uh,
yes,
of
yes,
everything. Like the easier it is to interface, like for a lot of these like mobile games, like you don't have to read any text, like and you'll still understand basically what to do if you've played like any game before. So I would say like UI is key. I think they do a really good job with like character design on a lot of stuff where they try to be like more poppy, more eye catching, more like and like some of it's like for better or worse. Like sometimes they'll have like I think they call like waifu gotchas where it's like all skin or whatever. And it's like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
a bit
That's just
much.
marketing at that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the dudes where they're like ripped out of their fucking mind and it's like they look like some unobtainable K-pop Herculean figure chiseled out of marble
yeah,
looking dude. And you're like,
yeah.
what the hell is this? Why is he in a thong? I'm like, I gotta get him though.
I gotta get them.
You look at his stats, bro. I can't. I can't even.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's actually a very good. You know what's funny? Before when you suggested this pod, my typical ignorance towards mobile games, I thought I would personally like shit on them, for like a
Yeah.
good hour. And actually, they're a part of the gaming zeitgeist as a whole, and I think that you can look at free to play on traditional gaming media and versus mobile. They share a lot of similarities. They both have like the gotcha mechanics for sure. um, and like it was you just talking to you now really changed my general opinion of mobile gaming. I get
I would say that there's
what you're trying to
definitely
say.
like all those worst aspects I agree with. And I think all the predatory practices, they're creeping into traditional games now as well. Like if you
Yeah.
look at like how they're doing like loot boxes in like every game that's
Yep.
coming out, like no matter like what platform. If you look at like seasonal passes where like they're pre-selling you things and they don't really tell you what they are, I think that's way more predatory than being like, hey, check out this dude, this good looking dude in a thong. I'm like, well, at least I know what I'm trying to get. Or like, look at these
Yeah.
7 cards. You can give us $10. You could try. You get these cards if you complete like this mission. And like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I guess I need it to be competitive. And
Yeah.
like, I'm willing to pay that money instead of being like, give us $50 and maybe fucking something will happen awesome this season.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it is. And you're like, yeah, I guess, man. Like, if it's gonna be more of the if I'm paying $50 and I pay 60 for the game, it's I'm getting double the game and like and then like you see like a lot of people like not even fulfilling seasonal passes or like it's
Yes.
like the bare minimum of it and it's like that's way more shitty and predatory than at least being like upfront with like what they're selling you. It's like I'm pimping you on a dream of being number one player in Hearthstone, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I could do that, and I just need this one card.
Yeah.
I'll be like Yu-Gi-Oh, dude. I'll have the fucking Exodia.
Right.
I'll have the reverse Uno card, dude. Like this is it. This is my Exodia, dude.
For
Uh,
sure.
and then like you realize like oh everybody else also has that card, and it's like gonna be nerfed because it's way too OP.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, man.
Right, dude.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I agree that there's definitely a lower barrier of entry to mobile games. So you get a lot more shovelware, a lot more crap games on there.
Yeah.
I would like to think that most of it, like the marketplace figures it out, but not always.
Yeah.
There's definitely like some bigger, more predatory companies that like also gamify the real world of like paying to win, where like their advertisements are on everything and they're like just trying to get user acquisition. And they're like, if I can get a user for like under $100 onto my game, then I know I'm going to be money up because it's so scummy that it's going to make more than that. So
Yeah.
they're willing to like pay like top dollar to like try and get user acquisition onto like a terrible game. So that's definitely a thing. But like that's, and I would also say they have more money to do that. I know like it was kind of notorious in Japan where like during their recession, TV advertisement like became way cheaper. So like mobile developers were like, "Oh, we can just advertise on TV," and like it
Yeah.
was so fucking successful that it generates so much money that like they're like, "Oh, now we're always advertising
Yeah. Yeah. I remember the Kate
everywhere."
Upton ads for uh there's a game, I can't remember what mobile game it was, but like I definitely remember the Kate Upton ads for it. Was it like it wasn't Clash of Clans, but it was something that was a competitor to it. And it's like, hey, Kate Upton's not even anything in this game. There's nothing to do with Kate Upton, but there's some boobs on camera. So you're like, oh, there's boobs. I'm gonna click that and buy it. Or like you said,
Like,
like the
what's
guy
this
in a thong.
about?
Exactly, exactly. So,
I mean, they had the
so
one with Arnold Schwarzenegger for like the one mobile
yep,
game.
yep,
And he's like sitting
exactly.
there smoking guys like, oh, now I'm launching nuclear strikes. This is hilarious. And you're like, oh, is that Arnold? Is that a mobile game? What's this about? Let me check
For
this
sure,
out.
for sure.
Like,
So I think that mobile gaming and gaming as a whole are kind of where movies were like 30 years 40 years ago, to where no matter what you have, you're going to advertise it and get as many eyes on the product as possible.
yeah, I think
And
where it becomes a little bit more nefarious is they're more akin to gambling machines
mm,
than video games.
yep, yep,
Like we say, like mobile game, and I would say like because we kind of talked a little bit about this before the pod, where I was trying to figure out like to me like the definition of like a video game is there has to be a complete state,
mm,
some sort of like counter of like a beginning. So
yep,
yeah, I would say like the things that go outside of that convention are like MMORPGs, like arcade games and like gambling games and
yeah,
slash mobile games, where it's like there's no real end state to them. They just kind of go on forever,
yep, yep,
and they're designed to just extract as many quarters from you for like an arcade machine, or as many nickels from you for like a gambling
bigger game.
machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I yeah, and like so I don't know. Like I think until like the government steps in and they're like make it like 18 plus for like a lot of this stuff, I don't think you're gonna see, like you said, everyone's gonna try and maximize like uh to
The
whatever they're
point.
promoting.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. For sure.
Uh yeah,
For
man.
sure.
It's
Yeah,
wild.
it's a good way to end it. And I just wanted to say, did you want to do a shout out to anything else that you're doing today? I know we talked about what you were playing and it's been the mobile games, but I know you got some other stuff going on.
You trying to get me to talk about the legendary mechanic, bro? The web novel I've been fucking deep into.
So let's hear it,
Uh
man. Let's hear it.
all right, man. This is like it's a guy gets isekai into a video game that he played, and it's like at the start of the game, but now he's an NPC in the game. So he's like going around just living his life as an NPC in the game, like trying to get power.
Yep.
And then he like realizes like there's real players. So like it gets into open beta, and then
Yep.
like he becomes like a quest giving NPC because he realizes he gets like XP for
Yeah.
interacting with players. And now he's becoming like super OP, but I don't think the author is very good at math. Um,
So I will say this. Let me stop you right there.
all right.
I feel like for the past four pods, like the amount of Dojin media you consume is incredible because every single time it's something that's out of left field that I've never even heard of. So
Did I even get a chance to talk about the birth of the demonic sword? So what this takes place, and this is Noah, and he gets isekai'd into a kung fu world, And like he's like, oh shit, I gotta get strong because everything's kung fu. Every
Yep.
day's kung fu.
Yep.
Uh, and so he goes to a kung fu academy, and the Empire hires him to be an assassin because somebody's trying to buy up all the kung fu from the academy. So he has to go stop. They can't stop him from buying all the kung fu, but they're gonna go kill him and take back all the kung fu, dude. And so
Uh,
eventually he creates the demonic sword, dude. Like
yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So there was I mentioned this
it's
before
pretty good, dude.
the combo wombo bingo sheet. Please, someone add Chipped Monk's random Dojin fantasy media. That's awesome, though, man. You see, you're literally opened my eyes to a whole new world of media.
No,
That's
they're like
amazing.
they're solid. Like web novels, they're free. They usually come out weekly.
Hmm.
They're not always the best written, but
Yeah.
much like a lot of the cream rises to the top because there's so many people there. I know like the legendary mechanic and like the birth of the demonic sword are like both like pretty top rated stuff.
Yeah.
Like in that space. Yeah,
Sweet,
they're
dude.
they're they're decent. Like they're simple, they're well written, and like because it's weekly and because they're short.
Yeah.
I know like in traditional Western comic books, like they always talk about like have like the page turner
Yep.
for like a comic book where like something's gonna happen on that last panel where you're like, where it's like you are, and then
Yep.
like to get you to turn the page, and it's like, oh, this black cat showing up again with Thanos glove.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so there's always like something like that where it's like, so for this because of the way it's written and because it's weekly, like every like fifth paragraph is like that you are like type of moment.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And like they're like, oh, he's about to do what? And then, like you're like, oh shit, I gotta listen next or read next week to find out.
Yep. So
Uh
it's that euphoric drip that you get from mobile games as well. You get that
yeah.
in good callback. Good
Yeah, this
callback.
is comic books, dude. Comic books
Yeah,
are
man.
kind of the OG mobile game. Oh,
True.
like we got paid to get the story
True.
weekly
I
or
like that.
monthly.
Love it. So
Yeah, man, what you been up to?
as far as me, man, I'm still in that VR space, just living life, trying to spread the word. I'm basically like a Jehovah's Witness going out, knocking on doors, going, "Have you heard the gospel of VR?" You know,
Yeah,
um,
the good one.
yeah. So I've been looking for like longer experiences in it, and I've turned to like games that I played as a kid that maybe someone has converted to VR. So the original Quake, and I mentioned this on a previous pod, some madman like decided to mod it to support VR, and it's to the point where you can like it has an option where if you jump in real life, you jump in game. So it's a bunny hop. You actually have to like legitimately jump. But switched that to a button, but I left the option on because it was so
Bro, I put
ridiculous.
in new lights the other day, and
Yeah,
my ankles hurt today because I was like up, like
yeah,
putting in like LED strip lighting in the living room.
yep,
My
yep.
ankle hurts from doing that.
Yeah, imagine, man. Imagine bunny hopping. So I played it on stream just the other day. I don't. One viewer said that they got motion sick from it, but I think my overlay kind of worked out enough to where no one else really complained of motion sickness. So I'll probably stream it again next time I do my VR streams on Saturday, twitch.tv/ Mr. Gimpy. Saturdays 3 o'clock. Central Time, and Wednesdays 8 o'clock Central Time. So, but the other thing I was playing that just came
It's on
out,
the Twitch, right?
yeah, yep, it's on Twitch. The
I
other thing
kind
I
of
was
zoned
playing,
out. Twitch, Mr.
yeah,
Gimpy
yep,
TV,
Mr. Gimpy, just Mr. Gimpy.
no
So
TV.
Twitch
It's
it's
Twitch.tv
twitch.tv. Yeah, you got it.
slash Mr. Gimpy.
But what I did want to say,
Is
and
there no doubt in that?
no, I'm probably
All right.
going to stream
Is it
this.
Mr. like the word
God
or
damn
just
it.
MR? I just
Mister, just like it's on the
okay.
bottom of our thing, Mr. Gimpy. Yeah. So the other thing I've been playing off stream that I'm probably gonna stream in the morning on Monday is Pac-Man 99. It is the battle royale version of Pac-Man made by Nintendo, and let me just say, let's see, there we go. I have 4 wins in that thing right now, so I have unlocked boss mode. I cannot be defeated in Pac-Man 99. I want to say that when top 10 comes out, man, like unlock mode, happens. I'm just ready to rock, ready to go. No one can handle me. That has been so much fun. And like I said previously, like battle royales typically don't do it for me, but Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, Mario 35 just are enough of the games that I grew up loving, to the point where I get it. I get that
I
like
want to
one versus
play
100 thing. It's fantastic. So Pac-Man
Pac-Man.
99.
I still want to play Pac-Man DX.
Oh, it's
Plus.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I still
Yep,
haven't
some
done
of the
that, and I
best.
know that's also kind of
Yep.
like playing with like a lot of those old concepts and making them like more spectacular. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
man, there's
Yes.
something to it. I
Yeah.
know, like even like a Mario Maker, where it's like
Mhm.
you versus random worlds, and they give you 100 lives. Like it's kind of like inverting everything. But like that was super popular as well, like
Yeah.
for a long time, like for streaming and stuff. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I'm hoping that when I do stream it, I'll get more wins on it.
yeah, Mario Maker. You ever fuck around Mario Maker?
I did. I did. I don't own it. I just rented it from GameFly. It was like my last like GameFly subscription, but I'll definitely buy it again because it's super fun. It is super fun.
Yeah.
And now that my daughter is to the point where we beat Mario 3D World, we're about to beat Bowser's Fury, and she's played all the classic ones. She loves Mario, so I think giving her that, and she likes Legos and stuff. So I think giving her that creative freedom to make her own Mario levels will do a
It's
lot.
Infinite
for
Mario.
her. Yeah, so I will definitely get that for her.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, good stuff, dude. Yeah, Pac-Man DX is amazing. So that's actually my favorite
Nice.
Pac-Man. So I can't recommend that enough. But yeah, man, I think that is the pod. Look at us, man. I can't believe we've come so far. So
Yeah, I can't believe I still have so many camera issues.
we'll fix it. We'll still working at it, man. So I'm Mr.
Still work in
Gimpy
progress.
for
I'm
Chip.
Chipmunk.
We will
Oh,
see you
look.
next time. And like, share, subscribe to Combo Wombo, ya bitch.
Follow us.
All right,
bitch.
later, everybody.